Hello. This is a day in the life of a software developer working on a project that has both GitLab Ultimate, CodeSonar, and VS Code fully integrated. So let me walk you through what you see as a developer. There's another video that you can find closely where you found this one that explains the infrastructure behind it. I'm going to start with GitLab here. I have a demo. It's curl. Everybody knows curl that I use. It's a nice code size and a C++ code, so it's easy to work with. In this case, I'm compiling for Intel or Linux, but of course you can use this with an embedded compiler as well. I'm going to create a merge request because I want to work on this. And this is nice because then the merge request will put all my stuff together. And I'm going to assign this to myself. Then I won't need the GitLab tab for a while. But let me bring up my merge request here. This will show me my merge request assigned to me. So this is the merge request I want to work on. And I can actually check out this merge request branch. So this will fetch the latest changes and check out the branch that you can see here. And I can start working. So what we're going to do is I'm going to add another function in here. And I'm going to add the function in a tool util function, because that makes it available across lots of the different places, of course, in curl, as long as I can find it. There we go. So tool util.c is available in many different places in curl. So I'm going to add a function in here before the if-defs. And it is a function. I'm going to copy paste it from here just to make it easy, make sure I don't make any typing mistakes. Put that in here. This is a so this is a string operations function. And I'm going to use the signature here as well. So let's add this to tool util.h as well. There we go. And then we're going to actually modify terminal.h, which is in a slightly different directory. So we're going to modify terminal.c, and we'll bring in that one function. So first of all, we'll do a hash include tool util.h. Thank you very much. I don't need the rest of them. And then in here, we're going to modify this one function here. And instead of just doing curl getenv, we'll do return append stir. And we'll do that, and then we'll add something to it. Text. So it doesn't really make a great deal of sense from the logic from the application, but I just wanted to kind of show you that you can add a function and then cross-reference it. So we'll save this. Now, this is my first modification, right? So I can say add new function, commit, and I can push that. Yes, I want to save. And I can sync that up. So that's going back to GitLab now. And of course, if I go here to my GitLab workflow, in my if I refresh this as part of my merge request, you can see that all the files that I've merged, and there's lots of information here. And you can see this on the left-hand side updated as well. You can see there's a pipeline running. The pipeline will run all my checks and then provide me in my pipeline review here the feedback as to what I need to do next. Just close these old tabs here. So that's one way that this happens. This takes about 6 minutes. But what I'll show you as well, very often software developers want to do local build as well. Like you want to build on your local workstation. So what I can do in this case as well, there's something called def containers in VS Code. So I can actually grab this. The def container has been defined for this project. I can download my def container. So I'll grab the container from wherever you have it stored. And that has all my compilation stuff in it. So that means I don't have to install anything on my workstation. And now I can say task, run task, CodeSonar analyze. And this is my base analysis. So now I'm running a pipeline at the same time as I'm doing a local build on my workstation. My workstation in this case is a Linux server. And I'll get the results from both of them. They'll be exactly the same results because it's exactly the same environment. Infrastructure as code is a bit of a buzzword, but that's what we've used here to define everything. So I'm going to go quiet for a couple of minutes, and we'll get the results. And when the results are there, I'll be back with you. Okay, the pipeline passed. If you were actually paying attention when I was copying and pasting, you noticed that I missed a semicolon in this definition here. So the first pipeline run failed, and then my local compile failed as well. I fixed that and resubmitted. So now my pipeline comes back, and what I can see here is there's 7 new potential vulnerabilities. So I have to solve these. There's some issues. There's some high and medium issues. Those I have to resolve, and the others, the low ones, I technically don't have to resolve. I could. So now there's 2 things I can do. I can actually ask for approval. So go to my team lead, whatever has been set up as the approval mechanism within your team, and I can ask for approval for these vulnerabilities, or I can just go solve them, right? So here's a leak in tool util.c and a few different things here. So let's just go look at these. Let's go have a look at the leak. Now what I'm doing here is I'm actually clicking through, and this gets me to CodeSonar. So there's a link between GitLab and CodeSonar here, and you can see there's quite a bit of a path from get terminal, where I put this return appendster, and then we go through a number of different functions. So terminal.c, get env.c, tool util.c, of course, and you go through, and here it says, hey, we've actually have a memory leak. So dest has gone out of scope, and we're not actually dealing anything with it. And because we have it in call P here, we made a malloc, but we don't clear that malloc. So I'm going to ignore that for a little bit. Let's look at the other warnings that we have. Let's look at this one here. So there's a buffer overrun. That's important. So this is actually, if you can look here, look at this malloc. There's a buffer overrun because we're actually mallocing stringlen s and then adding 1. Well, that's not the right way of order of doing this. So let's go back to that function. So I can actually go back to tool util.c and do all that. But what I can also do is I can actually go to CodeSonar, and I can download the analysis. So if I do that, I can ask for curl. This is actually, what did I call this again? Improve usability. So you can see here that the branch name is here. So I can look at this. There's multiple different analyses. This is the when I created the merge request. This is where I made my typo, and this is the one I want. And I can actually do this, and that gets me all warnings in this project, and it gets me into the Serif editor here, and I can look at my lists here, and we're looking for a null pointer. Sorry, it's a buffer overrun, right? So it's a buffer overrun. There's 3 of them. So let's have a look at this one here. So that's how I can get to that particular location as well. So you can see, we just have to put that there. Fantastic. So that fixes the buffer overrun. What else do we have to fix based on our security review? Based on our security review here. There's a null pointer dereference. There's actually a couple of them. And you can see here, I can see the other warnings in the same edit file as well. So here we do a malloc. And of course, if you do a malloc, you should always check for null. And that was not done here. So let's do that quick. There's a malloc here. So why don't we add that in here at the same time? So we do if not new lock, lock. We'll just return dest, I guess. And we do the same here. If not new len, return dest. There we go. So I fixed those 2. Fantastic. Now, a couple of other things to note here. See that red underline? Well, that means that this is tainted data. This is data, if I hover over it, that came from the environment, right? It's an environment taint, which is potentially dangerous and something to look at. So CodeSonar gives you lots of information. What I can also do is I can hover over this thing here and open up my little info window, and I can actually see how can I possibly get into this function. So this is, I call this the reverse stack, basically. Right? These are all the different ways that I can get into return appendster through the get terminal columns function. So lots of extra information to help you find the problem that you're trying to fix. All right, so what else do we have here? Did we fix these 2? Then these 2 are redundant conditions, so I can look at them. And you will, okay, so basically CodeSonar says this is never true. Well, I'm going to call this a suppressed and say it's a true positive, but this can never happen. So this will be tracked as basically as me in this analysis. And we can do the same for the second one in this list. There we go. Let me suppress this one as well. You can come up with your own wording here if you want, and your own verbiage. Never happen. Voila. All right. So we have some annotations in CodeSonar. We have some edits here in our how do you call it, VS Code. I don't need the settings at JSON. So submit fixes, and I'll submit that. Now what I can also do, so this is going back to GitHub, GitLab. It's going to run the entire pipeline and then give me the results. But I also have this local build. So what I can do here as well is I can do run task, and I can call this fixes. And this will do the local build, and this will do an incremental build. And I've only changed this 1 or 2 files, right? So this is really quick. And then I can get my results quicker and see if I want to make any other modifications while I do this. So the way this works is that GitLab has everything integrated, and CodeSonar shares information with GitLab. If I actually go to my CodeSonar project here, Code GitLab, you'll see multiple different directories. You'll see a feature directory, and this is where my pipeline is running, right? This is my particular project for this pipeline. But I also have a feature, developers listing here, and this is my call it a scratch pad if you want, or sandbox. And you can see here that I have 2 analyses. This is the base. I deleted the one where I had the compilation error, and this is the fixes. So these are the things that I'm doing locally, and then I can kind of compare between the 2. Now, also notice that I'm not actually doing any login from my VS Code into CodeSonar. That's because there are certificates in the background that get exchanged. So everything is password protected and secure, but I don't get bothered with, how do you call it, logins constantly. So this pipeline is still running. If I go to the GitLab workflow, you can see my merge request here. And you can also see, and from here I can jump to GitLab, and I can see here, this is what I was looking for. You can also see the pipeline running here. So let that run. This one's probably already done. There we go. So this is my fixes. Now I can do a compare between my fixes and my previous branch and see what was fixed and what was not fixed. So this was in base, but not in fixes. So I fixed my buffer overrun. I fixed my null pointer dereference. Now there's a new warning that may pop up, which is my ignored return value here. And that's true because I'm not actually checking this new log. Oh, see, I did new len instead of new log. My bad. But I can say, hey, look, ignore this as well, and save that. So now we'll have to wait for the pipeline to finish, and I'll get back to you when that's done. Okay, the pipeline is ready. So you can see here, there's still 1 high warning. We fixed many of the other ones. This one is still here because I made a mistake. Remember, I mistyped. I used new lock as opposed to new len or something. We keep on going through these warnings until I'm done. So I'll make a couple of more changes and get rid of these other warnings as well, so we can approve the merge request. So the pipeline has completed again, and you can see there's still a couple there's still 1 warning left. So now I can approve this, I can merge it, and then I'm done with this feature, and I can move on with to the next feature, the next issue, and then resolve that. So hope this was useful. What you've seen here is GitLab, CodeSonar, VS Code, all integrated. I can drive everything from GitLab. I can see my pipeline results. I can see policy approvals. There's a security dashboard as well, of course, where I can see the overall security policy and kind of report that up into the management layer. And then I can do everything that I want to do from a coding perspective from VS Code. I can download my results from CodeSonar, the same results that GitLab has, and through that jump through my source code. I can also do a local build, which can be quicker because it has an incremental capability, and get those features back and forth as well. Lots more capabilities here in the platform that I haven't shown you yet, but that's kind of the start of what we call life in the day of a developer. Hope this is useful to you, and have a great day.